to do four things. Increase climate literacy, turn up the volume on communities of color in the climate conversation, connect everyday people with the resources they need to survive and thrive, and highlight frontline climate justice crusaders of color throughout this year. KBLA Talk 1580 will be bringing you insightful interviews on all of our shows to help raise your climate IQ. Each quarter this year, we will also be hosting free climate events in various communities throughout the city with food, fun, and forward-thinking conversations. Thanks to partners like LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, the Sierra Club, the California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, AQMD, MWD, and more. You'll also be hearing more about a couple of national town halls broadcasting live from Los Angeles, to which you will be invited. And we'll be rolling out a robust social media campaign on all our platforms, as well as an outdoor media campaign, all designed to educate, enlighten, and empower you in our fight for climate justice.
We want cleaner air.
Caring about the community means caring about the climate. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that we really can change the world if we care enough. If we care enough. If we care enough. If we care enough. If we care enough.
I just want to kick this shit off by saying, y'all. I ain't got to clear my name on a mother thing. Every time I get mentioned, one of y'all get 24 hours of attention. I'm finna get this shit off my chest and lay it to rest. Let's go. And if the beat live, I feel like Mariah Carey. Got these niggas so obsessed. My so famous might get managed by Kris Jenner next. He can't move on, can't let it go. He hook nose full of that Tina Snow. And since need Megan help to make money, come be my hoe. All of you is we gonna rival. Talk a for no one can find you. I can never be judged by a bitch that was dancing, making R. Kelly go viral. Hey, I'm sexy as fuck and I'm freaky. Get whoever I want, any meanie. Why the fuck would I stay with a that's weak in the sheets and don't know how to please me? Bodies on bodies on bodies on bodies. Say he making it, now he the topic. He's thinking they lowered the value. All this free promo, I'm turning to profit. Hey, when a be kissing and telling. Say he'll play up, but he in his feelings. Bet I won't give up the again. I gave it to his friend. These don't be mad at Megan. These mad at Megan's law. I don't really know what the problem is, but I guarantee y'all don't want me to start. Shoot a never finna check me. Every chance you get, bet y'all weak wanna dress me. Swear they cheat, but the G must stand for goofy. When the did all the gangsters turn to groupies. Everybody wanna kick it when you ain't a threat. These don't like me cause they know I'm on their neck.
Welcome into
so
hour
every time y'all celebrate
two.
fake news.
Hour two of RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. That's Megan Thee Stallion's new single that just dropped about an hour ago. It's called Hiss. And, you know, this is Megan's first project as an independent artist. And listen, I'm just going to say it. Megan can spit. But kind of goes back to what, at least first impression, because that's the first time I've heard it. I had the lyrics, obviously, because we're going to get into some of that. But first impression is I want to see Megan work with a producer, like Snoop said, that will challenge her. I just feel like everything feels really, really redundant. I know her style is to spit staccato and, you know, da-da-da. It all feels the same to me. Maybe I'm wrong. Again, that's just first impression. You know, I feel like Tina Snow, The Fever, I liked more stuff on that. Maybe her, I don't know. I just would like to see her work with, and obviously she's working with different producers this time around because she is supporting her own project, but I just want to hear her in something completely different. You know, I know that she has the chops to do a great song and to do that. And I'm not saying that is not a good song, but I don't know. I want to hear something different.
Should she change her cadence in some songs?
I think so. That's why I said I feel like a good producer will help her that, you know, can help her produce her vocals or maybe, you know, a track that has her doing something else. Because I just feel like it's just, you know, die line, spit hot fire, you know. And again, I'm not, I'm being funny, but I'm not in any way saying like, oh, Megan can't rap or, you know, the stuff doesn't sound hot. It just sounds redundant to me. I don't know. You know, I think it's fair. But Miss Girl, her pen was smoking. And she has heat for everybody. You know, Megan has been being used as a punchline in a lot of songs. We know that some people that seemingly don't even have anything to do with it have thrown her name in there. And I get that that is a part of hip hop, but it seems particularly, targeted at Megan because even though she was the victim in that Tory Lanez situation, she seems to have developed an interesting relationship with the hip hop industry. And, it's we're watching it play out in real time. And so I guess if you can diss guys, you can diss girls. So I'm not saying it like that. I'm just kind of questioning, why are we always going after the gunshot with Meg?
You know what really, really sucks throughout that whole ordeal? And as shallow as this may sound, I think a lot of the hate that Megan receives is the fact that she was actually involved with Tory Lanez.
I think so. I think few people were a little let down because, I mean,
it was like him for real.
Superficial stuff. He's like, what, 4 inches shorter than her or something. He's like really small. I do think about that time in her life. She had just lost her mother not too long before that. Her father, was he still in jail or had he passed away at that point? I'm unclear. But I know that she primarily, was on her own at a very young age. And in this industry, as we've seen, people will eat you up. And even if you take off like a rocket, people will want to, attach yourself to your stardust. And first it seems exciting, and then you get to see what's behind it sometimes. So I think that that is something that Megan experienced. But Megan's throwing shots. She is out here. So one of the first shots she threw in the song that we just heard, Hiss, was at Nicki Minaj. So the line said, "Don't be mad at Megan, be mad at Megan's Law. I don't even know what the problem is, but I guarantee y'all don't want me to start." So if you don't know what Megan's Law is, Megan's Law, like, listen, and some of the fans are saying, why is everybody always taking shots at Nicki Minaj's husband and not at Nicki directly? But basically, Megan's Law was a law made by authorities, started here in California, and it requires the public to be to be made aware of sex offenders when they move into your neighborhood or change locations, etc. And if you know anything about Kenneth Petty, Nicki Minaj's husband, he is a convicted sex offender who was accused of raping an acquaintance when he was younger. So there's been a lot of controversy about that. A lot of Nicki's fans were confused about her making that move. It's a conversation for another day, but that's Megan's first shot. On the other side, we'll get into what she had to say about Drake that, it stung. So we'll get into all of that on the other side. More. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
RSVP with Jill Munroe is your go-to show for staying in the know. More engaging conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
We all agree that America has a very serious problem.
Okay, KBLA delegation, we need your help as we launch our 2024 Climate Justice Campaign. We would deeply appreciate you going to our KBLA 1580 website and filling out a short climate justice survey, which will help us better serve our beloved community as we build out this campaign. It'll take you just a few short minutes to complete the online survey, and the information you provide us will be invaluable as we do our part to hold folk accountable and amplify the voices of our people in this climate conversation. When you take the survey, you'll be automatically entered to win seats at our annual Black History Month luncheon, Thursday, February 29th. So, hit our website at KBLA 1580. Help us out by taking the short climate justice campaign survey, and you could be our guest at our annual Black History Month luncheon, Thursday, February 29th. Thank you in advance for your consideration and cooperation. At KBLA Talk 1580, we care about the community, we care about the climate.
I started vaping my freshman year of high school, mostly because all my friends had vapes. I wanted to fit in with them and look cool and be a part of everything that they were doing. The hardest part about quitting for me was all my friends still hitting their vapes right next to me. It was really frustrating and confusing when I was trying to quit because in my head I knew I didn't want to do it anymore, but for some reason my brain still wanted it.
No quit story is the same. For free support, text Kick Nicotine to 66819 today.
Linking social justice and climate justice all year long. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminding you that we keep us safe. Pro Football Hall of Famer and urban peace pioneer Jim Brown believed in just that. So he founded the Amera I Can Foundation for Social Change in 1988, focusing on at-risk and high-risk youth in underserved schools and juvenile detention facilities, as well as adult incarceration and reentry initiatives. The core of the Amera I Can program is its 15-chapter life skills curriculum. Mastery of these skills allows individuals to meet their academic potential, conform their behavior to acceptable societal standards, and improve the quality of their lives by equipping them with what they need to confidently and successfully contribute to society. Today, the foundation is led by its president, Monique Brown, who has been actively involved in the organization for more than 25 years. The Amera I Can Foundation continues its work in memory of its founder, actor, philanthropist, and NFL legend Jim Brown. To get involved or make a donation, please visit AmeriICanCommunity.partners. That's AmeriICanCommunity.partners. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, keeping you informed, entertained, and always ahead of the curve. This is RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You were locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. So we're talking Megan Thee Stallion. She just dropped a new single, Hiss, where she is definitely coming for some of her detractors. Before I get into that and what she had to say about Drake, Thomas Outlaw in the chat brought up what I think is a good thought. He said, the hustle is real in hip-hop. Would it help Megan Thee Stallion to walk the Busta Rhymes cadence route, sliding from bombastic and raw into smooth and sultry? I think that is a good point. I think that if she could give us some variety when she spits, because she has power. I like her voice. It's not that I don't like her flow. I just feel like it gets a little redundant no matter what track she's on. And for me, the tracks that she selects, they aren't that vibrant. I don't know. It's just, some are okay. I just think that she could do something different. I think that there's untapped potential there.
She just good at making ratchet music. I don't think there's much
but even
substance.
Well, here's the thing. Remember that the single that she had out before this, where it was the snake and she was shedding the skin and she dropped the diss about Party. That song had substance about her mental health and stuff, but it
didn't hit.
It didn't. It didn't. And I think the track wasn't, for me, all that exciting. I mean, sometimes this is the thing that I always say when people say they want substance in their music. But are you going to listen to it over and over? Are you going to rock out to it? Are you riding out in your car to it? And so, I don't know. Well, obviously, we have been discussing quite a bit the staying power of the current state of music and the lack of artist development and so forth. So I applaud Megan for taking her career in her hands and, paying for it all herself. But I don't know. I just would like to hear her on some different tracks to make it just doesn't feel any different to me. It just feels like initial excitement. Oh, Megan's coming out. Ooh, she said what? And then we're over it.
I think she's reached her peak, unfortunately.
It could be. It could be. I'm gonna give her a shot to, not like that, because I think that she has a lot to offer. But as strange as this sounds, I think she almost needs a mentor. I don't know. Maybe she needs a male mentor, and not saying that men are the answer to the problems. Y'all don't come for me. I'm just saying, I think she needs someone that will help her, give her rhymes some dimension.
At this point, she probably just needs to just start her own podcast.
You think so?
Yeah.
I mean, she's done a lot. She's been the hottie advisor. She had the workout thing or whatever. So there's certainly lots of things and opportunities that she's been given the past 4 years. Well, I shouldn't say given. I'm not being disrespectful to the work she put in, but she's been in a lot of spaces. And I think people just really want to like her and really want to see her win. But I don't know. I do not know. The music ain't musicking. We'll have to see what else comes, though. Right now, people seem really excited just checking out a couple of the, comments online. They're like, Megan's back. Is she? We'll have to see. So I mentioned that she also threw a shout out at Drake, who we know dissed her on, I can't remember which song it was, but it was on the album that he and 21 Savage dropped. And so Megan had a little stab that is sure to sting Drake, I would imagine. So Megan said, these naysayers, I'll be using naysayers a lot in replacement of that. These naysayers be hating on BBLs and be walking around with the same scars. So, word on the curb, it has been implied that Drake may have, got a little lipo in his time, got a little ab etching. It's unconfirmed, but Megan definitely was talking to him. It's interesting because for years, so many men got on women for getting weaves. And, there was even, I saw floating around today on social media, a random person was asking men and women what they what they thought men preferred. Did they think that men preferred natural or BBLs? All the women said BBLs, all the men said natural. Here's the thing. They're both right. And let me tell you why. So the men that are saying natural, they probably do. But they like BBLs too, because they follow the BBL girls. And what I will say is that you probably like a natural BBL, because there are some women who's, especially in this current era, right, that have had a little bit of enhancement, they're called athletic BBLs, or a natural one where it looks more natural to the curves instead of like the blow-up doll look that has become popularized over the last couple of years. Andy can't wait to disagree with me.
Look.
I saw the comments. They're like, men are telling you guys what you like and you're still saying they're wrong.
Yeah, like, we prefer natural all the way, right? I think some of us might not even be able to decipher whether this person might have a BBL.
Mm-hmm.
I think we like the voluptuousness of a woman's body, but we might not be able to tell that that's a BBL. But like, I think if we're dealing with a woman and let's say, she might be considering a BBL, I think we would advise, no, it's not necessary. Doesn't mean that we follow it. We follow women or whatever that got the BBLs. Don't mean that this is what we want.
What does it mean then? It
Nothing.
It just means it's what you like to look at.
It's what we like to look at, but that doesn't necessarily mean like we're only going after the chicks that got the BBLs. Nah.
Is it because BBL is high maintenance signaling?
No. Just be natural. Like, why are you first off, why are you going out of your way? Because, I think a lot of them do it because
for male attention.
Male attention, maybe an opportunity to be in a music video. You should not, women, you guys should not be doing it for, like you said, male consumption. Do it for you because, you might be a little bit flat, but don't do it for us because we really don't care at the end of the day. We really don't.
I understand that. That's fair. But what do you think? I think on the flip side, as we're seeing more men get into plastic surgery. I follow this account on X, Twitter, called The Cosmetic Lane, and they show lots of different procedures, new procedures or whatever. And one of the things I immediately noticed was how many men and procedures I had never heard of were getting things done. We already know that fillers can do a lot, like they can chisel you, add different dimensions, but men are getting a lot of lipo. Men are getting ab etchings. Men are getting, things that are deemed classically, I would say even classically in the Anglo man type thing or whatever, but men are getting surgery. They're getting the man weaves and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, the man ways I really, 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 really don't understand. Honestly, it just sounds like a lot of insecure men who don't really want to go ahead and do the true work that it would take to have a chiseled body, or at least, you know what I'm saying, lose some form of weight. That's why Ozempic is popping and all of that. People are just, technology has advanced to where, there's a lot of shortcuts being made. And I think, once again, it's just a lot of insecure men who don't want to put in the work.
Do you think, I mean, as much as we talk about, in other areas, social media impacting, and we talk a lot about women being impacted by the images that they see on social media and it impacting their, impacting three times, their self-esteem. Do you think that men are being, feeling the same sort of effects?
To a degree, yeah. Especially for those insecure dudes who are on social media looking at the chicks with the BBL, probably, holding hands with some buff dude or whatnot. I mean, yeah.
Because I see things like there was some rapper Finesse 2 times or something like that. He got lipo and a BBL and all of these.
Bandman Kevo.
See,
That's another individual.
Yeah, no. See, and so that is not something that was discussed, especially as far as men, even just 5 years ago, right? Even men going to get nose jobs, people would be like, tricky. So it's just interesting to see that aspect evolve, especially as I know men call women hypocrites a lot of the time for some of the things that we, double standard on. But I'm wondering how this conversation is going to shift as more and more men take up plastic surgery and, the man weaves and switching it up and so forth.
At the end of the day, man, I think it's a little bit of self-hate. Social media will definitely enhance those feelings when everybody's living their best life. And man, it just boils down to just embracing you as an individual, embracing what you have and what you don't have. Easier said than done, but social media 100% is not helping that out.
They are not. So I'm sure there's more disses. Is that the way you say it? More shade.
But like, even Megan making that statement about Drake doesn't hold any weight. Okay, you got lipo.
I mean, I think Drake is going to be a little mad because Drake seems...
People already look at Drake like he's a little feminine, a little sweet.
Yeah.
So, like, you dissing him with that doesn't... Like, for example, when Pusha T kind of exposed him having a child,
yeah,
that was huge.
It was.
That was big, as opposed to, like, I think at this point, too, it's like, is that really embarrassing about a dude getting lipo? It's not embarrassing. I don't think, but like you said, maybe to Drake it might be embarrassing, but I don't think people care.
You don't think that some guys aren't gonna? I mean, like, I think so, but I guess to your point, is it going to impact Drake's standing? Is it really going to be?
No.
Are people going to be like, no, I can't? They're not.
Now, if Drake was over here doing some Vince McMahon stuff, some Diddy stuff. Perhaps, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Then we talking. But lipo, like, to me, that's low hanging fruit. That's like elementary dissing.
But I guess she had to say something. I mean, so if we're going war of disses, what they said about her and what she's saying back, do we just call it a fair one and move on, or do you think that there's going to be more back and forth?
They should move on because, quite frankly, whatever beef this is, I didn't even know Nicki had some words. It's not moving nothing. It's not moving the needle.
Yeah.
Diss tracks are not moving the needle. This is not a hit 'em up. This is not back down from 50 Cent. This ain't no Vaseline. This ain't
no ether.
Dollars and cents. This ain't no ether. This ain't no takeover. Hell, this ain't even Sheether.
That's true.
So
I mean, because when you think about it, when did Pink Friday come out? Was that this year or was that the end of last year?
The original Pink Friday?
No, Pink Friday 2. I'm sorry, the one that just dropped.
That just dropped a couple months last year, like December, I think.
And crickets. I know Nicki's supposed to be going on tour, but all I see her doing is battling with her fans on social media. It's a weird time.
It's crazy because my girl and my homie, they didn't even talk, but they both randomly were concerned about Nicki Minaj, and they were just thinking, you know what, she's off she's on something.
Something is definitely going on with Nicki. Just her seemingly behavior on social media, how she's acted in some of the live, interviews or performances.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what, but something is going on with Nicki. And I mean, I know technically she's been on a break, and she's about to go on tour. It doesn't feel good though now.
It doesn't.
So, shout out to Nicki Minaj though. And so listen, and continuing with our hip hop conversation, right? We know that Yasin Bey, formerly known as Mos Def, he recently spoke out about Drake and said he doesn't consider Drake hip hop. He considers Drake target shopping music, and that he's pop, right? And to a degree, he has a point. But, not all the way, right? Everyone's entitled to their opinion. Well, in a recent interview with Ebro in the Morning, Common has weighed in on the debate about Drake and whether or not he should be considered a pop artist. He and Mos Def definitely are on two different sides of the argument or the conversation, however you want to term it. But, this conversation around hip hop is so interesting because this is what we wanted, right? Or this is the goal, to be number one, to take over world domination. And now we're here, and now we're slicing off little pieces of hip hop because we feel like it doesn't fit anymore. So when we come forward, we're going to get into Common's comments and kind of look at the reasons why he feels like Drake still represents hip hop and see if you agree. All of that and more on the other side. You are locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here. Well, wait, one thing to add before I go. Rachel True, that was the actress's name. So shout out to Thomas Outlaw. He dropped that for us in the chat. So Rachel True, she was in The Craft and she played Mary Jane in Half Baked. And she also was on, was it Half and Half? That's the show where she and Essence Atkins were half sisters, and it used to come on UPN. So more trending topics, more headlines on the other side. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Accents, posted in another hood like a bad. I'm a big dog, can't live since me. Get views when they tryna diss me. Make one move, got 'em in a tizzy. Killer that's why they tryna rip me. Still going hard with the odds against me. These don't have fans, they bots. These don't have they shots, and they still tuned in if they fans or not. Allegations from the opposition, just eating it up. These blogs get paid to lie. Y'all talk shit and be bogus. Bottom line is I'm still rich. You making bad and I'm still good. Bringing up who might have and the bottom line is they still good. I just wanna put my in peace, but all my old still up.
Trending topics and the hottest happenings. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Baltimore City is closer to having local control of its police department instead of it being a state agency. Mayor Brandon Scott, who is black, has signed 2 city council bills that will embed the BPD into the city's charter and code. There are 2 more hurdles to cross before the city can have full control of the police department. The General Assembly must remove a section of the city charter, and voters must approve the ballot measure in the November election. Preparations continue in advance of the upcoming trial of 4 Memphis police officers charged with being responsible for the death of Tyree Nichols in 2023. The latest controversy includes attorneys arguing about expert testimony scheduled without proper notice or disclosure of the list of experts. The judge is giving those involved until the end of the month to disclose the information. The trial against 4 of the 5 officers accused in the death of Nichols, who was black, is scheduled to begin on May 6th. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Can't wait weeks for your tax refund? Then don't. At Jackson Hewitt, get money today if you're approved for a no-fee refund advance loan on a prepaid card. Book today at jacksonhewitt.com. No-fee refund advance offered to eligible clients. Application required. Loans by Republic Bank. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Climate is king.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that caring for the community means caring about the climate. You might have heard that we announced a pretty bold 12-month, $2 million campaign to do 4 things. Increase climate literacy, turn up the volume on communities of color in the climate conversation, connect everyday people with the resources they need to survive and thrive, and highlight frontline climate justice crusaders of color throughout this year. KBLA Talk 1580 will be bringing you insightful interviews on all of our shows to help raise your climate IQ. Each quarter this year, we will also be hosting free climate events in various communities throughout the city with food, fun, and forward-thinking conversations. Thanks to partners like LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, the Sierra Club, the California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, AQMD, MWD, and more. You'll also be hearing more about a couple of national town halls broadcasting live from Los Angeles, to which you will be invited. And we'll be rolling out a robust social media campaign on all our platforms, as well as an outdoor media campaign, all designed to educate, enlighten, and empower you in our fight for climate justice.
We want cleaner air.
Caring about the community means caring about the climate. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that we really can change the world. If we care enough.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Single Moms Planet is a nonprofit organization dedicated to uplifting under-resourced single mom business owners and working mothers nationwide. Single Moms Planet offers comprehensive programs of financial literacy, business development, mentorship, and entrepreneurial training. They provide education, accountability, and hope. Single Moms Planet was founded by model, TV personality, and producer Nefertiri Plessy. Nefertiri felt firsthand the challenges that face single moms as she was raised by a working single mother. She learned that the most disadvantaged group in the United States are single mom families. According to the U.S. Census, 30% live under the poverty line. So she decided to do something about it, along with co-founder Cole Patterson. Their goal is to end the poverty cycle in single mother households through education, opportunity, and networking, providing family and child enrichment programs for under-resourced single-parent families. Single Moms Planet serves over 10,000 single moms and their children each year. Studies show that business development and financial literacy provide a positive environment for children and families, exposing them to new possibilities and opportunities. To attend one of their fun events, make a donation, or get more information, or if you need help as a single mom, please visit singlemomsplanet.org. That's singlemomsplanet.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Did you know there's dust floating around your home?
Really?
Yeah. Dust starts on hard surfaces like shelves and ceiling fans. And when you walk by, dust starts to move, compromising the quality of the air you and your family breathe.
So, what do I do?
Get Swiffer Heavy Duty Duster. Swiffer Heavy Duty Duster is the fast and easy way to trap and lock dust.
Before it gets into the air.
Exactly. So you can just... Swiffer Heavy Duty Duster, proud partner of the American Lung Association.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk Radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. Curating the most compelling stories and delivering them straight to your ears. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I said, tell me what's really going on. Drizzy back up in this thing, I'm ready. What's happening? Gone for surgery, but now I'm back again. I'm about my paper like a scratch and win. World Series attitude, champagne bottle life. Nothing ever changes, so tonight is like tomorrow night. I will have a model wife. Yo, is as hot as ice. Every time you see me, I look like I hit the lotto twice.
Drake, you got him right.
Yeah, I got him, bun. I love myself cause I swear that life is just not as fun. Neeks got the weed, Hush got a gun. CJ got my credit cards and a lot of ones. Yeah, I'm in the city of the purple Sprite. Someone tell Malaya I'm on fire, she should work tonight. Call up King of Diamonds and tell China it be worth the flight. I be at my table stacking dollars to the perfect height. Work something. Twerk something basis. She just try and make it, so she right here getting naked. I don't judge her, but I could never love her, cause to her I'm just a rapper, and soon she'll have met another. That's why me and Lil Jazz about to spaz.
Welcome back into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. Little Drake on topic. Listen, I forgot to add some of the additional Megan disses in there that she was throwing shots at. She said somebody was dancing around promoting R. Kelly. I'm not sure who that was in reference to. She also, in more lyrics that people seem to think are aimed at Drake, she said, cosplay gangsters, fake accents, posted in another ninja's hood like a bad chick. So, yeah, you know, she has some smoke out there. But listen, you know the internet moves fast, right? And Nicki Minaj is already responding and playing snippets of her response to Megan's, you know, shade. So, what she previewed, it says, chick, doesn't say chick, but you know. Chick, you like 6 foot. I call her Bigfoot. Chick, get up on your good foot. There's more. So the clowns are out, the gloves are off, and you know, I have always said I don't mind a little beef in hip hop, you know? I don't. I like a competitiveness a little bit. I like trash talk, but I do hope it stays on the playground, because things have a tendency to go left over the past few years, and we don't want to see that. But I'm curious to see what else Nicki has to say. Oh, I forgot to say, well, okay, let me slow down. I'm curious to see what else Nicki has to say, but what she also said was she called, well, we think she called Megan, we're not sure who she's talking to, lying lipo. And she said, chick, you got 3 Grammys and can't find the beat. You need to learn how to find the beat. So, it's going to go somewhere. Interesting to see where the sides pan out. Kendi in the chat says, Mr. Bay, Yasin, needs to worry about what he's going to say after he gets pulled over for those fake Moorish plates rather than if what Drake is or is not. Everybody got an opinion, you know, and everyone's going to share it. So let's hear what Common and Ebro's conversation was about hip-hop, the current state, and where Drake lies in that.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
Were you privy to this recent Mos Def little internet moment?
Yeah, I did.
With the whole Drake thing, what do you make of that? We debated it a bunch on here about, like, you know, and not so much even on Drake, right? Everybody happy, he's doing great. Like, we like his music. He's, you know what I'm saying? You guys have had your back and forths or whatever, but just hip hop being pop music.
Right.
Specifically, what Mos was talking about, consumerism in rap and all these things. And I thought of it because of, the root song What They Do.
Yeah.
You guys was just talking about, and this idea of hyper consumerism in rap, or specifically like trying to be everything to everybody and all of these kind of touch points that was in that convo. What's your opinion on that?
Well, I wrote a song called I Used to Love Her, and that joint was really speaking to that to a certain degree. Like, at that time, like, what? Like, when it started becoming real corporate and losing the purity of it. I think now, artists can be artists, meaning, like, everything is, some people, like, if their intention is to just be the pop artist, then so be it. I think, to me, I think Drake comes from hip hop. Like, when I first heard him rhyming, I was like, yo, this dude rhyming. Yeah. And he was, and if he goes out and makes songs that are popular, that's what it is.
But he's still an MC.
And also Drake's never Pitbull. He never went Flow Rider Pitbull with the pop.
Listen, I mean, the dude is an incredible songwriter. He's an incredible artist, man. Yeah. Like, you can't touch that many people without having some type of, especially on for a long enough period of time as he's been doing it. Like, it's pop artists, excuse me, it's pop artists that they have a hit and it's gone and you forget, oh, who was that? But I mean, this man has touched different aspects of culture, like, and been able to continue to do it. So, you got to have some respect and know that, like, yo, this dude is a very talented artist.
And at the same time, I think you said it, Rosenberg. Everything's right in the world when Mos Def has a problem with someone like Drake's consumerism. Like, that's Mos isn't supposed to.
Right.
That's who Yasin Bey is.
It's very on brand for him.
Yeah. Yo, Yasin, and Yasin is a genius, man. Like, I've been around that dude, and I'm like, and I've watched him as an actor, as an artist, and I listen to a lot of his raps and be like, yo, this dude is, he's like very like high level when it comes to like poetic rap and just not even just poetic rap, but I'm saying he has poetry within his rap. And just can style on anything. He could do a lot.
Even the style of the clip in which he was talking ish about Drake, within that he was being funny and performative, and even if I didn't really agree with what he said, but I still was entertained to watch him do it.
That's what, and one thing, Mos Def, Yasin is not gonna hold his tongue. He's a warrior.
If he gets asked, he's answering.
He's gonna answer, and like you said, he did it with his personality, all that charisma, and just he witty.
So many
funny.
skills. Has everything.
But I feel like, man, we know hip hop. Like, to me, hip hop.
So I think that again, let artists be artists. Hip hop has expanded and grown in so many directions. Now, did we talk about Drake maybe needing to take a break? Perhaps. But I think the idea that he's not hip hop at all is laughable. And, you may be mad that Drake has been on top for this amount of time. You may think that the product is becoming a tad watered down. But to say it's not hip hop, I think is, wrong. And then when they layer in the consumerism aspect, I know Drake does well, but Drake isn't, even though he talks about a lot of excess, Drake isn't one of the rappers that and this may not make sense, he doesn't seem like one of the ones that I think of when I think of overconsumption in hip hop or just excess and whatever, even though that is a part of him. I immediately, when I think about Drake, I think about the women and those type of songs and the connection like that. Maurice Geis, he said, Vegas checking in, why black artists hate on each other's success? Is it hating or is it conversation? Like, just because we disagree, I don't necessarily think that it's hate. Just because it's a critique, I don't feel like it's hate. It's maybe just examining it and opening it up. I think that's one thing that we do have to kind of be a little less sensitive about to a degree. I know that there are a lot of haters out there, but every piece of commentary on your work doesn't mean that someone is hating just because they don't agree or don't share the same opinion. When we come forward, we're going to get into more trending topics and headlines. We're going to talk about how Forbes says the Hot 100 chart is being manipulated. And I'll give you some interesting facts to kind of go along with that. All of that and more on the other side. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Infusing a sense of fun and entertainment in every episode. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right.
Y'all gotta try that Febreze car.
Just right, just right, just right. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistency. All over Febreze car clips right on your vent. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face. When it smells just right, just right, just right. Breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about. KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment. LA's 99 neighborhood councils form the grassroots level of the Los Angeles city government. The system was created to connect LA's diverse communities to City Hall. While neighborhood council board members are volunteers, they are also public officials elected to office by the members of their community. Neighborhood councils advocate on issues like homelessness, housing, land use, emergency preparedness, public safety, parks, transportation, and sustainability. They also provide local expertise on the delivery of city services to their various communities. Neighborhood councils are open to participation by anyone who is a part of the fabric of daily life in said community. This includes those who live, work, or own property or a business. If you are interested in stepping up to join your local neighborhood council, visit www.empowerla.org. That's empowerla.org. It's time to think globally, but act locally. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Charles Barkley in a pickup game.
We'll take Barkley.
Ha! First pick. Sorry, kids.
Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision?
Okay, here's the plan. Pass me the ball every time.
This is banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA member FDIC.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, home of the 2024 Climate Justice Campaign.
Watch out!
You got me!
The galaxy is safe once again.
In the pretend universe, kids play with pretend guns. In the real world, it's up to us to make sure they don't get their hands on a real gun. If you have a gun in the house, keep it locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Granddad, what's good?
Hey there, got us a quarter pounder with cheese and McNuggets.
Wow, haven't had our special McDonald's order in a minute.
Heard your little tic-tac-toe dance didn't get no likes.
Oh man, is Mom telling everybody?
You know she is.
There's a deal for every favorite grandson at McDonald's. Right now, get one favorite like a quarter pounder with cheese or 10-piece chicken McNuggets and get another for just $1. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer. Valid for item of equal or lesser value.
Now back to more captivating conversation on RSVP with Jill Munroe.
You are locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. So we've been talking about hip hop and music and rap disses, and you know, there's been a lot of conversation about the Hot 100 charts, the Hot 200, and about debuting number one. So Forbes had a recent article with some hardcore Snapple facts about the Hot 100 over the past few years and what it says. So what they found was that a song that debuts number one on the Hot 100 is no longer rare because of streaming, basically. They said in 2020 alone, it saw 39 songs debut at the top of the chart. And that is 4 times higher than the songs from the 90s as far as charting, and 8 times higher than the 2000s, and 2 times higher than the 2010s, right? So basically, streaming obviously has made it much easier to access music. You don't have to physically go to a store, copies sold don't get lost anymore, those weird things that used to happen back in the day. But what does happen is a little manipulation. So let me go back a little bit. The first song to debut at number 1 on the Hot 100 chart was Michael Jackson's You Are Not Alone, and that was in 1995. So this particular chart has only been in existence for almost 30 years, right? And it took nearly 4 decades for Billboard to begin publishing that chart from its existence. I believe Billboard launched in the late 1950s, 1958 to be exact, right? So it was almost impossible for that to happen before Billboard started using SoundScan, which was in 1991. So before that, it was just basically DJs reporting in, kind of record companies, that stuff could be fudged. We've all seen the movies where they've lied about the sales of black records to keep, those records from charting as number 1, et cetera, et cetera. But all that changed when SoundScan began tracking albums scanned at the register. But of course, bootlegging got big then. We've all heard about that. I'm sure there's several singles, albums that really in the hood were probably triple, quadruple platinum, but on the charts maybe only sold gold. And that's just the way things used to go down. And then, of course, we went through the LimeWire era and all of that. But this number is crazy to me. There were 10 songs that debuted at number 1 between 1995 and 1998 because of a Billboard rule that stated that a song must have a physical single to be considered as a part of the Hot 100 chart. So labels would have to wait until, airplay built up significantly and then press out a single because it costs a lot more money to put out a single then, right? So they moved the physical single requirement in 98 and, they had to think of something different to do. So I guess it was about 2009 when iTunes started peaking in popularity and the numbers started changing, right? So artists now that have a big fan base, a big support. So, the Swifties, the Barbs, we just saw that a couple of weeks ago. Ariana Grande's new single just debuted at number 1. I'm not sure what her fans are. I always call them ponytails. So, these things are happening, but it is because of the fan base, right? So you got to think, Taylor Swift, how much did she do over her tour? I can't remember. The numbers were sickening, right? But if that fan base all goes in streams or downloads her single, number 1 easy. We should all hope to have fan bases that are that dedicated and move for us. But this generation of consumers is also a lot more savvy. So they know the importance of a number 1 single. So they're going to band together. They'll sit there and let the streams go. I have a friend that was an independent artist and they would ask like, hey, if you don't want to listen to it or even for a podcast, just turn it on and let it play for me. Just let it play so that stuff could count. And, there's some questions of, well, is that fair? Because it can be manipulated. It's never really been fair. There's tons of mom and pop stores where sales weren't counted back in the day. But it is a different time. So, I don't know. Does having a number 1 impact how far a song goes anymore? Or is it just simply window dressing? I guess we'll have to see as we continue on. Maurice in the chat says, and this goes back to us talking about black artists critiquing one another, I just don't see other nationalities speaking on each other in this way. This is on a daily in our community. Nonstop. Somebody doesn't like this or that. Peace. I think that it is, I think we hear it more now because of social media. Everyone has a voice, so you're able to hear everyone's thoughts, critiques, and concerns. And that's why it probably feels like it's over indexing on that. I mean, hate is a popular thing to do now, and it gets people attention. I'm not in denial of that. But I absolutely wouldn't say that other races don't inflict this type of conversation on their artists. Maybe you just aren't in those circles like that where they're having those conversations, just like maybe the average white person may not know about the intricacies in hip hop. They may be like thinking that Megan's just releasing a song. They don't know the little disses and the Easter eggs that are planted in there because they don't follow hip hop like that. So I think the same could be said if Taylor Swift writes a dagger to her ex-boyfriend, which she is known to do in all of her records. If you don't keep up with Taylor Swift and the guys she dates, you may not realize that there's trash talk going on or that other artists are critiquing and being passive aggressive with that. So I think the idea that we always say, well, other races don't do that. How much time do you spend within those conversations and with those people to accurately make that assessment? Do you follow their popular blogs? Are you in the comments over there? Maybe you are, but I would tend to think that more than likely, probably not. Andy?
Different industry, but like take politics, for example. I'm sure there's a lot of white folks talking trash about Donald Trump. So, like you said, I think you broke it down, beautifully. It's like a proximity kind of situation. If you're in these circles, trust me, you're going to hear that Harvey Weinstein, people dissing, Epstein, people dissing. So, it's a proximity thing.
I mean, I think just think about Perez Hilton. When the blog era started, people hated him. He had a lot of opinions, and there were a lot of comments in the static website at that, So I think that we just kind of, sometimes it's so easy to get caught up in our bubble because that's all we know, especially now where everything is so niche. So it's a lot harder to get a main vibe of consciousness on how everyone feels around a particular issue or song because there's not the same resources to kind of group it together in that way. Everybody can be in their own little thing.
And, we are a sensitive group of people, quite frankly.
Yeah.
I don't think, constructive criticism will be taken as a form of hate. So it's like, when can we be critical of each other?
Yeah, I think it's hard because we always feel like if we critique one another, then the white man is going to take that and take it too far, and it's going to wipe out not only opportunities for this person, but everybody in their generation and lineage and everyone that is surrounding it. And I understand that thought process or those feelings to a degree because we've seen things happen, but we can't always approach things from a victim standpoint. And sometimes it's okay to, get some feedback. That's what it is. Listen, get ready for Hour 3 on RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. Now is the time. Go download the app because we're going to have some interviews that are coming up next hour that are going to be audio only if you're checking us out on YouTube, or you can go to the KBLA.com website and check that out. But we have, an update on Wendy Williams, some more trending topics and headlines, and those interviews coming up from Mr. and Mrs. Smith with Maya Erskine and showrunner Francesca Sloan and the cast of In the Know. All that and more on the other side. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
But you should miss me a little when I'm gone. I just hope that you miss me a little when I'm gone. Ooh, my goddamn. Kicking bitches out the condo like Pam. Getting money every day, I'm a groundhog. About to scoop your girl up like a ground ball. I walk light so I don't piss the ground off. Man, I swear my do it till they shoot the brown off.